Edgar Berlanga unleashes fiery comments on Gervonta Davis and Caleb Plant, challenging the top fighters in the game after his high-profile bout with Canelo Alvarez. With tensions rising, Berlanga's bold statements fuel speculation on what's next for the undefeated star. Will he get the matchups he's chasing? Get ready for some serious drama in the boxing world.
I'm feeling amazing, man. You know, I'm here at the Garden. I'm in my whole time in New York. Just now, we just left Puerto Rico, probably like less than 24 hours
We
ago.
seen you running out there.
We had like 500 bikes outside, Can-Ams, four-wheelers, dirt bikes, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, we did a bienvenido, like a welcome to Puerto Rico, welcome home, you know what I'm saying? So.
After his loss to Canelo, Edgar Berlanga reflected on his experience and how he was embraced by his Puerto Rican roots. He expressed feeling rejuvenated and supported, noting how the people of Puerto Rico welcomed him with a Benvenito celebration, showcasing their love and pride for him despite the defeat. Berlanga also emphasized the importance of staying grounded and connected to his heritage, as he looks forward to his next move in the boxing world. But what's concerning? Is it the right time to celebrate? Edgar Berlanga's ex-trainer Andre Rozier explained his perspective on the fighter's recent performance against Canelo.
I tell a lot of people, because a lot of people have asked me, well, what do you think about the performance? I'm not going to vilify and I'm not going to bring him down on it, but you can't celebrate coming up short.
Rozier emphasized the importance of recognizing areas where Berlanga fell short rather than sugarcoating the loss. He acknowledged Berlanga's effort but stressed that improvements are needed if the young boxer is to reach the elite level. Rozier highlighted the necessity of refining Berlanga's technique, focus, and discipline to ensure he doesn't settle for anything less than victory in the future. Rozier shared some positive takeaways from Berlanga's performance against Canelo. He acknowledged that Berlanga had shown improvement, particularly in his use of the jab, which was a step up from his previous fights. However, Rozier also pointed out the key areas where Berlanga fell short. Rozier said, "He actually was using his jab better than he did in the past, which was good. I didn't like him backing up, retreating. He was the bigger man. He should have emphasized his size difference upon Canelo, muscled him up and pushed him around. Sometimes you have to make a fight a dogfight to win it and be on top of it." Rozier explained that while there were improvements, Berlanga's strategy didn't fully capitalize on his physical advantages. He believed that Berlanga needed to use his size and power more effectively, especially against a seasoned fighter like Canelo, to force a more aggressive, gritty fight in order to secure a victory. But on the other hand, Berlanga has been enthusiastically celebrating his recent return to Puerto Rico, embracing the support and love from his community despite his loss to Canelo. Instead of dwelling on the defeat, he has been focusing on the overwhelming reception he received during his homecoming. Berlanga said, "I had 500 bikes outside, like we stopped at the T-Mobile district, and it was just something amazing, man. People don't understand. Like, that type of love was different. You know, y'all can see the videos on Instagram, it was just different." Berlanga emphasized how meaningful this show of support was for him, describing it as an unforgettable experience. He appeared to be shifting his focus from the fight to the positive energy he received from his Puerto Rican fans, using it as motivation to move forward in his career. This response highlights the contrast between his celebration and the more critical analysis offered by his former trainer.
You can't celebrate coming up short.
Edgar Berlanga's former trainer, Andre Rozier, offered a more grounded perspective following the fighter's recent loss to Canelo, contrasting Berlanga's celebratory attitude. Rozier made it clear that while it's important to acknowledge effort, there's no place for celebrating a defeat. He stated, "You don't celebrate coming up short. You got to say to yourself, I could have done better, and I need to do better so I can be better." Rozier's remarks underline the need for self-reflection and growth after a loss, rather than focusing on the praise and support from fans. He emphasized that in order to evolve into an elite fighter, Berlanga must recognize his shortcomings and push himself harder to reach the next level. This critical outlook stands in contrast to Berlanga's current celebration of his Puerto Rican homecoming.
Gracias, Puerto Rico!
After Edgar Berlanga celebrated his defeat against Canelo with a flashy homecoming parade in Puerto Rico, riding alongside 500 bikes and enjoying the local support, his former trainer, Andre Rozier, expressed his concerns about Berlanga's mindset. Rozier felt that the celebrations, while understandable on a personal level, signaled a lack of seriousness about the improvements needed to compete with top-tier fighters.
Do you think that performance was enough for him to move up to heavyweight and fight a guy like Anthony Joshua?
No. Listen, I know my nephew. That was just talk. That was just Talk. You know, fighters do that, and it was him having some fun with words. But no, him in the ring with Anthony Joshua will not be happening.
He commented that if Berlanga is more interested in fun and spectacle than personal growth, he wouldn't be ready to challenge fighters at the heavyweight level, like Anthony Joshua, AJ, or other high-caliber boxers. Rozier criticized Berlanga for having fun with words instead of honing his craft, suggesting that without a more disciplined approach, Berlanga wouldn't be able to compete with the best in the sport. In a recent interview, Edgar Berlanga reflected on the emotional and mental challenges he faced leading up to his fight with Canelo Alvarez. He spoke about the weight of the situation, acknowledging that it wasn't just about fighting an accomplished opponent in the ring. Berlanga said, "I was going up against a tough competitor, you know, a legend. But not only that, I was going up against the world. You know, it wasn't just that I was fighting fighting the media, I was fighting the haters, I was fighting a lot of things. And the build-up for that fight was intense. And another thing too, I felt alone over there." This statement highlights the immense pressure Berlanga felt, battling not only Canelo, but the external forces of public scrutiny and criticism. Feeling isolated, he conveyed that the experience was far more than just a physical contest, it was a mental and emotional struggle as well.
You know, like in Mexico, you know, there was a lot of Mexicans. You know, there was a lot of boos. You know, I never got booed in my life. Fat Joe never got booed in his life. Alcaine never got booed in his life. Lou Alaela never got booed in his life. And we was all getting booed.
Edgar Berlanga also spoke about the harsh reception he received from the crowd during the bout. He expressed how the negativity added to the mental toll of the event. Reflecting on his fight with Canelo Alvarez, Edgar Berlanga shared his thoughts on the mutual respect he felt would come from the match. Regardless of the outcome, he expressed confidence that he would earn recognition for his efforts in the ring. Berlanga said, "I knew that after that fight he was going to give me the respect, whether it was a win or a loss. But it turned out to be a double win. You know, his mom told my coach that it was a double win that night. There was no loser. Canelo benefited a lot off that fight, and I know the numbers. We know what's going on behind closed doors. He benefited from that fight just like I did, and that came from his mouth as well." This statement reveals Berlanga's belief that both he and Canelo gained from the experience, highlighting a sense of mutual growth and respect. He indicated that the fight served as a significant stepping stone for his career, bolstering his reputation in the boxing world.
A young fighter, right? And y'all gotta understand, this is my first rodeo. You know, this is my first main event. This is my first main event at that level. This is my first pay-per-view fight. And we made history, bro.
Berlanga's remarks also reflect his optimism about the fight's impact, framing it as a positive experience despite the loss. Edgar Berlanga believed he made history with his fight against Canelo Alvarez, viewing it as a pivotal moment in his career. However, this optimistic perspective was met with skepticism from his former trainer, Andre Rozier, who took a more critical stance.
You can't celebrate coming up short. That's what you don't do.
Rozier believed that celebrating the fight as a historic moment was misguided, especially given that Berlanga lost. He emphasized that while the experience was valuable, it should not overshadow the reality of the performance. Rozier insisted that true history in boxing is defined by victories and championship belts, not just by the opportunity to fight a well-respected opponent.
You know, I'm a winner at the end of the day, so me not getting a decision, you know, I was down, but right after the 12th round, you know, the bell rang. People was going crazy, like if I won, like it was just like, it was weird because they was going crazy for him, but they was going crazy for me. Like if it was two winners that night, you know, and I had my head down, you know, I went to the back, I was a little upset, and my, you know, wifey was like, "Yo, you crazy, like pick your head up, I want your head down, like you gotta understand, like you won, you know what I'm saying, like the people was..."
Edgar Berlanga exuded an air of overconfidence, proclaiming himself a winner despite the official outcome. He boldly stated that there were two winners that night, framing the experience as a personal victory rather than a setback. This perspective sparked controversy among fans and analysts alike, as many questioned the validity of celebrating a loss. Critics argued that this mindset could hinder his growth as a fighter, potentially leading him to overlook the areas needing improvement. When asked if he felt ready to face Anthony Joshua, AJ, Edgar Berlanga confidently declared that his mindset is at an elite level. He emphasized his physicality and size, saying, "Listen man, my mindset is on another level, you know what I'm saying? I'm a beast, bro. Remember, I'm a big boy. If I wanted to, I could be 220, 215 like nothing. Right now, I'm 200, walking around solid." Berlanga highlighted his punching power and comfort at his current weight, indicating that he doesn't have to dehydrate himself to make lighter divisions, which which allows him to build muscle effectively. He also pointed out the size difference, stating, "He's not that big, he's probably about 6'5" and I'm 6'2", so it's right there." This bold declaration of readiness to take on a heavyweight like AJ illustrates Berlanga's unwavering confidence, but it also raises eyebrows among boxing analysts. Critics argue that while Berlanga's physical attributes are impressive, his lack of experience at heavyweight might pose significant challenges against a seasoned competitor like Joshua. Berlanga's assertion that he could easily transition to heavier weights reflects both his ambition and a potential underestimation of the complexities involved in moving up divisions, especially against elite fighters. This confidence, while inspiring, also invites skepticism about whether he fully grasps the hurdles that lie ahead in his pursuit of greatness in the sport. After expressing his readiness to potentially face Anthony Joshua, Edgar Berlanga acknowledged the importance of solidifying his standing in the 168-pound division first. He stated, "But before I even try to go up or anything, I got to conquer the 168 division." This remark illustrates his awareness of the need to establish himself firmly in his current weight class before considering a jump to heavyweight. Berlanga then shifted focus to the fights he believes will be most marketable, saying, "People like the Plant fight cause he talks mad shit, but in reality the fight that's going to sell is the Munguia fight. You know, you got another Mexican-Puerto Rican rivalry. I'm trying to make that happen next year, probably middle or late next year in the Garden. I want to do it here." This highlights Berlanga's strategic thinking regarding potential matchups, as he recognizes the commercial appeal of a rivalry fight against Jaime Munguia. His emphasis on wanting to stage the bout at Madison Square Garden further underscores his desire to connect with fans and create memorable moments in his boxing career. However, the focus on selling a fight could raise questions about whether he is prioritizing the business side of boxing over the technical and competitive aspects, especially when facing high-caliber opponents like Caleb Plant and Munguia. This balance between ambition and pragmatism is crucial as he navigates his career in a highly competitive landscape. Edgar Berlanga was asked about his ongoing social media exchanges with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, particularly regarding the back-and-forth trash talk that has intensified in recent days. The question highlighted the rivalry and tension building between the two fighters, prompting Berlanga to respond candidly about his feelings towards Davis.
Yeah, he a bitch. He's a bitch. He's a hater. And he's a diva. He look like a dyke. The kid, he just always want to just keep talking.
He continued, "He thinks I don't know. Like the girls he be having in his little fake Instagram that he got. He was talking mad shit about me on some hating stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he's a hater." Berlanga's remarks showcase his disdain for Tank Davis, framing him as someone who uses controversy to fuel his career rather than focusing on the sport itself. Berlanga stated, "He's just hating every time. He's always looking for something to build up his fight. Just like every time he's got a fight, he wants to call out. He starts wanting to create controversy with Floyd Mayweather so he could get his pay-per-views and ticket sales going. You know what I'm saying? He's a clown though, and I don't fun with him. He's not allowed in Puerto Rico either. They go to Puerto Rico, going to strip." The derogatory comments also reflect Berlanga's desire to assert dominance in the ongoing rivalry, emphasizing that his loyalty lies with his Puerto Rican roots and that Davis's behavior is unwelcome in his community. In a moment of reflection and determination, Edgar Berlanga expressed his aspirations and confidence about his future in boxing. Following his recent fight and the discussions surrounding his potential next steps, Berlanga shared his mindset and ambition regarding the 168-pound division. Berlanga enthusiastically declared, "The sky is the limit for me right now. I know that I can conquer the 168 division. I put my mind to it, and I tell myself I'm going to get all those belts, and I'm going to come the next time this through the champion." This statement encapsulates Berlanga's unwavering belief in his ability to achieve greatness in the sport. His focus on capturing all the titles in the 168-pound division reflects a clear goal and a commitment to improving as a fighter. Berlanga's enthusiasm suggests that he is not only ready to take on the challenges ahead, but also motivated to prove himself as a champion in the boxing world. During an interview, Edgar Berlanga was asked about the possibility of fighting Caleb Plant, a fellow contender in the 168-pound division. Given the growing rivalry and tensions between the two fighters, Berlanga's response was anticipated to reflect his feelings toward Plant and whether he viewed the matchup as a priority.
You want to fight him? Would you want to fight him?
Caleb Plant. Plank, whatever his name is. Morel.
Munguia, everybody can get
Pop.
it.
Munguia's the one that he Munguia's the guy. Munguia's the guy in Charlo too. Like,
Now,
Jamal.
He was further pressed about his stance on other potential opponents in the 168-pound division. Notably, discussions about David Morrell, Jaime Munguia, and Jermall Charlo had been circulating among fans and analysts, making Berlanga's thoughts on these fighters particularly relevant. But Berlanga bluntly stated, "Morrell too." He went on to emphasize that he was more interested in fighting Munguia or Charlo Canelo, signaling that he sees these matchups as more appealing or significant for his career. This comment indicates Berlanga's desire to focus on opponents who can elevate his status and contribute to his goals in the boxing world, while simultaneously dismissing Morrell as a viable contender.
Listen, I'm the cash cow now, you hear me? I'm the cash cow now, you hear me? And Plant know it. He said it. He said Edgar's the only guy right now at 168 that we can fight, that we can make the bag.
By positioning himself as the cash cow, he emphasizes his growing status as a sought-after fighter, indicating that other contenders are looking to capitalize on his popularity to boost their own careers. When asked about the next best options for Edgar Berlanga, particularly in relation to potential fights against Caleb Plant or Jaime Munguia, his former trainer, Andre Rozier, shared his insights on the matchup with Munguia. Rozier highlighted the attributes of Munguia that could influence Berlanga's performance in the ring. Rozier responded, "I like Munguia. Munguia is going to bring the true warrior out of him, and if he doesn't respond as he should, then it's going to be a long night for him. But if he lets it go and he steps to him, it could be a very, very exciting fight where he could definitely be the victim." Rozier's remarks emphasize the high stakes of a potential fight with Munguia, suggesting that it could either ignite Berlanga's competitive spirit or expose vulnerabilities in his game. This perspective reflects the belief that Munguia's fighting style would push Berlanga to elevate his performance, making for an electrifying bout that could significantly impact both fighters' careers. Edgar Berlanga stands at a crossroads in his boxing career, buoyed by the overwhelming support from his fans and fueled by the desire to improve and challenge top contenders. While he celebrates his heritage and the love from Puerto Rico, the scrutiny from former trainers and analysts reminds him of the hard work still needed to truly compete at the elite level. As tensions mount in the ring and rivalries heat up, the question remains, can Berlanga balance his celebratory spirit with the discipline required to rise among the boxing elite? As Berlanga aims for greatness in the 168-pound division while navigating fierce rivalries, do you think he's ready to step up to the challenge, or is he setting himself up for disappointment?